for those of you, I see a couple new names. Andre Roman, if you want to come on camera and introduce yourself and kind of say why you're here, that would be awesome. But it's not required. So, Andre, yeah, nice to see you.
Yeah, nice to see you. Yes, I just decided to join to see what was done for 2.10. I have, in reality, it's a question, but I think it's not related to the new version. That's why maybe I don't know what would be the best format to ask.
So this is like an open session. In the forum posts we do, if people need like a dedicated time to discuss like an issue or a pull request,
Huh?
we ask people to sign up ahead of time. But today we don't have any sign ups, so there should be time for just open questions.
Okay,
Um,
so yes, I will wait in this case, of course. Thank you.
okay, so
So yeah,
we'll
but in
we'll
reality, I'm maintaining the security plugin, so I just decided to because we kind of yes, I am from Ireland and we just support
Oh,
OpenSearch a lot.
okay. So did
Yeah.
you work on the Ivan security changes that went out recently?
Yes. Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
awesome. Actually,
Yeah,
this is perfect.
not dashboards because I'm not so good in JavaScript. But yeah,
Oh, okay. So you worked on the OpenSearch integration. Cool.
yeah.
Um, yeah, I'm myself. Some of the stuff I'm working on now will be reaching out to the security dashboards team because we're going to try and slowly start pulling some more of the security stuff into core. Um, as you may be aware, there's this kind of weird architecture right now where uh, security, both for OpenSearch and OpenSearch dashboards, is like a separate plugin, which um, that's not what we want long term. So we're going to be kind of starting on that road, slowly moving stuff over. So yeah, thanks for joining us. And Roman, if you're interested in coming on camera and introducing yourself, we'd love to have it. But if not, if you're just here to watch, that's also fine. Oh, no cam and no mic. Okay, cool. Uh, well, welcome. If you have any questions, I'll try and keep an eye on the chat. Feel free to leave them in there. Cool. So we're going to get started with just some brief demos of, again, what went into 2.10, which was our most recent release. There's a lot of kind of, I would say we always are pushing lots of changes, but sometimes those changes are more or less visible to end users. And this release, there's a lot of changes that should be very obvious to end users. So I'm going to start with some of the new look and feel and theme related work that we did. And then I'll also hand off to Anand to present some really exciting work for Discover. Okay, so I'm running just the 2.10 branch locally. This is the out of the box startup. The 2.10 release, if anyone is curious, I think they're still trying to get the final release candidate to pass everything and then get out. So I don't think 2.10 is quite released yet, but fingers crossed, any day now. I think they're targeting Monday. So first thing you notice here, we have a new theme by default. Really this is our first step in overhauling kind of the whole look and feel of the application, modernizing it, making it much easier for users to orient themselves in the application, find the stuff they need. So there's going to be a lot more big structural changes to dashboards coming in the next few releases. But the most noticeable thing here is new themed colors, both in light and dark mode. So you'll see this green color is used throughout. If we go and do the kind of normal startup, the first thing we have to do is add some sample data. You can see that we've also updated all the screenshots here to use the new viz colors. I'll talk about that a little bit more later. So let's go ahead and add our sample data. Again, this is on a very fresh install setup of OpenSearch dashboards with no data. But now, knowing that a lot of users will be upgrading, and sometimes visual UI changes can be surprising and uncomfortable at first. If you go to the homepage, just wanted to show that we do have just a notification to introduce folks to the new theming. We put a ton of work into the making dark mode work a lot better. The dark mode that we had prior to 2.10 was a lot of it was kind of an afterthought, and that there were a lot of plugins and applications that didn't really play well with the dark mode colors. We've made tons of fixes across the theming system itself. a number of core plugins. We've also worked with external plugins to kind of improve their compatibility with theming. We've also, one of the things that we really want to get out of 2.10 is feedback on the new theme. So if there's something that's still not quite right, or there are contrast issues you run into, we want to hear about it. We have in the settings for the theme, we have a link to theme feedback on our forum, where we'll be collecting feedback from everyone. So anyone who is looking at this now or seeing this video recording later, if you have like problems or you're excited about the new theme, we'd love to hear it on this feedback issue. And also, if there are problems, it's still easy to go back to the previous theme, which was this V7 theme. You can just switch that here. And so that's kind of the way that we're gradually introducing it. I really encourage folks who are watching this to also turn on dark mode if you're interested in dark mode theme, because this is also where a lot of the changes have gone into place. And one of the things we're going to do in the future is probably make dark mode the default if users don't have a preference one way or the other. And so we're really interested to get as much user feedback as we can about the new dark mode settings. So here you can see I've switched over to dark mode. We still are using kind of the same like primary color schemes here. You'll notice that there's a lot of kind of subtle changes to the menus. One other thing that we really worked on in this theme work was bringing the visualization colors a lot more consistency. So one of the things that has been added is actually a new sample dashboard called this visual consistency dashboard, where we've actually put every type of chart type that we support across all the various visualization tools that we support in one place, so that as we continue to make look and feel improvements, gradually over time, we want to reduce the discrepancies on this page. And so the big achievement we got done in 2.10 is really standardizing the colors that all the visualizations use. So this is I would love to pull a before slide. Maybe I'll do that after this meeting. But it used to be that because some of these visualization tools used some internal color systems, others didn't, others had their own. It used to be that all these visualizations would have had different colors. In addition, one of the things you'll notice here is we kind of use the same categorical color palette even when we're looking at different types of data. So these pie charts that are splitting on operating system, they're also using the same kind of color palette that these response codes are, and that these other extension plots are using. So one of the frustrations we heard from users repeatedly is the old color system tried to be overly clever in terms of assigning unique colors that were technically unique, but not distinguishable from one another. What we've done is simplified that system so that within a particular visualization, you'll never have a color reused, but when you have visualizations across a dashboard, that same palette will be used for every visualization and extended as necessary. So this should make things a lot easier for users. There's no need to manually specify every color on your visualization just to prevent it from changing. One of the other bugs that this fixed is it used to be that the color assignment was non-deterministic. So based on the kind of load order, when you loaded a big dashboard with lots of visualizations like this, you would see the color palette on each individual visualization change. Because now we've simplified and standardized the color palettes, you can know that every time you reload it, those colors will persist. So you won't have colors jumping around, which means you can just rely on the automatic color system a lot more instead of having to manually specify every color in every series. There's still a lot of room a lot of improvements we want to make on top of this, giving users more control over color customization, color management. There's a ton of stuff we want to do in the future, but I think this has been a huge step in the right direction for us to start having visualizations that look good by default. So the other thing that we did is we kind of removed a little bit of the fibbing of some of the other sample dashboards. So a lot of these sample dashboards previously had a lot of manually specified colors to try and make them look cohesive and look good. We've removed all of the color customization from the sample dashboard. So now they really do represent the out of the box experience that anyone would get if they made all of these visualizations manually. So you can see here the colors are slightly different, but there's a lot more cohesion across all the visualizations. The same palette is in use everywhere. And I think with that, there's a lot more in the release notes. There was a lot of kind of small specific fixes. One thing I know is there were a lot of places previously in the UI where the like code editor didn't work very well in dark mode. It still had a light background. We have also fixed all of those. So you see here, this is one that I remember fixing. So there's a lot of kind of subtle dark mode improvements to make sure that dark mode really does work just as well in the theme system as the light mode does. And then kind of also looking forward in the next couple of releases, we're also looking to make sure that all these appearance controls are user configurable as opposed to being across the entire cluster or tenant. So giving different users the options to say, if I prefer dark mode and Anand prefers light mode, or Mickey likes to have his settings set by his OS and adjust throughout the day, then we can all work in whatever mode is most comfortable for us in dashboards. I think I'm just kind of bouncing through all of these changes we made. I think that's all I wanted to demo. Mickey, was there anything I left out from the stuff that we put into 2.10?
That was it. Thank you.
There was also some other things like for builders. Mickey did some a really big PR on our usage of logos. So we have a branding system that allows folks to basically customize the branding of the OpenSearch dashboards and replace OpenSearch dashboard logos and titles with their own kind of custom logos. That system needed a huge amount of refactoring to be theme optimized. And so even something what seems as simple as logo handling ended up being a huge, awesome refactor that Mickey did. So thanks for that. And with that, I'll turn it over to Anand to talk about the new Discover experience.
I'm setting up the system preference to allow Zoom to look at my screen.
While we're waiting for Anand to come back, were there any other questions about the new look and feel and theming? One thing I will also do is I'll drop in the some of the issues that describe our kind of overall plan and next steps. So let me grab some of those to share in the chat. So if you do have if you're interested in kind of the long-term vision for dashboards, I shared here a link to the RFC. There's a lot of different projects that are attached to this. Some of them are underway right now. So we're actively working on new homepage layouts. We're actively working on workspaces, bringing the appearance settings to user controls. So this is a future vision RFC. It covers things going all the way into next year, but a lot of this is actively underway at the moment. And if you're interested in getting involved in helping us out, in helping drive these changes, definitely reach out to us on Slack, comment on these issues, and we would love to have more help and more input. Okay, so now Anand's back. Let me stop sharing.
So this is Anand. I'm also from OpenSearch Dashboards. So today I'm gonna demo a little bit about the new Discover we're gonna bring out in 2.10. So what we look right now is the new Discover you guys will see in 2.10. So basically, this is a combined effort of solving the security concerns of Angular and also allowing customer to have a better data view experience using a new project or component called Data Explorer. So from my previous introduction, basically you're hearing about two things. First of all, there is a new project called Data Explorer. Second is the de-annualization of the legacy Discover. So first of all, I'll just introduce a little bit about what is Data Explorer and then how it is related to the new Discover. And then I'll just focus on what we did for de-annualize the legacy Discover, and then what's the differences the customer will see when they use the Discover 2.0. So we have a proposal called Data Explorer in the GitHub issue. So basically, this Data Explorer is trying to solve the confusions of many customers that right now we have a lot of different applications to do the data exploring work. So basically, we have multiple applications solving the same problem. So we want to gather all of these applications and experience together to allow customers to compare and decide which is the better data explorer tools they can use. For customers' perspective, there is no usage differences for the end user. What I mean is that, so basically what we change is just the routing logic of Discover. So when we set up Discover as a plugin, so right now, besides of only set up the Discover services, we also register Discover as a view component in Data Explorer. So you can think about Data Explorer like a more complicated platform at the backend. So when we click, for example, Discover on site navigation, it's actually the Data Explorer find that right now the Discover is the selected view, and then the Data Explorer will start rendering. So that's the only thing we change. So it's basically the backend routing logic and some other sharing services. So customers shouldn't feel any differences. So when you click the Discover on-site navigation, you'll just go into this Discover page. Yeah, so that's the first part. The second is, let's just talk about de-annualization and then how we can use this Discover 2.0. So I think de-annualization is very easy to explain. It's just its name. We want to de-annualize. So basically, Discover is a very ancient application. I think it's one of the most, I think it's one of the oldest 3 applications. So it's written by Angular 1.8. So currently we all know that Angular is not actively maintained. So which means that if you have any security loop or any fixes, it will not be in Angular. So this means that customer, whoever use this legacy Discover, will suffer from security concerns. So that's our major purpose. And second, as we talk about, this is just one of the data exploring applications. So so eventually, when we finish Data Explorer project, we'll allow customer to choose probably from the site navigation between different Data Explorer views. So you can choose to directly jump to Visibility or Observability. So let's just look at this Discover view. So basically, if you look at this whole Discover data view, you can find there are probably 4 components. 2 of them are very obvious. So the first one is the top navigation with the query bar. And then the second is this whole stuff. This whole data view stuff contains 2 things. First is the chart. Second is a table. And then there are 2 hidden aspects from Discover. First of all is the save object. When you click save, you can save Discover into a saved object. So for Discover, we call it save search. So the purpose for that is when you do a lot of search and then queries, you don't want to do it again. So what you can do is that you save that. So you save it as a safe search. So when you click it, it will have all your previous time range, your search DQL, and also different filters. And you could also share the link to different users. Another hidden part is called embeddable. So this is so embeddable basically is a reusable component. So with embeddable, you can actually discover your safe search in dashboards, just like other visualizations. So we're gonna look at all of these in details. So for user perspective, I think the only thing they might find a little bit difference is just some UI display changes. As we said, currently we don't have the legacy doc table. We changes to the OUI data grid. So this is the first thing customer will feel different. Second is that when you click this inspect button, right now the document details is shown as a flyout. So that is another difference. So these are the only two differences I observe from customer perspective. For functionality wise, there's no differences. So Discover 2.0 is just meant to be a smooth transfer for providing customer a more secure usage experience. So let's just talk about the first part, the top navigation. So this is exactly the same. So you can change the data range. You can also search some words or any queries, and then you can add filters. So no differences at all. And then for the table, it's pretty much the same. You can just add different columns as you want to choose. For removing the columns, right now you have two options. First is that you can just remove from the side navigation bar. So when you remove everything, it will just display the default source, which is the complete context of the document. There is another way that you can remove the column right now. So you can just click remove column, and then it will just removed. It can also allow you to move left, move right. So you can choose which maybe the most useful columns you want to display or compare. Yeah, so that's something new from this data grid stuff. So when you click the expansion button, is exactly the same. You can add filter for, you can just remove it. You can add the filter out, the toggle, and then other exist present. And then you can also start to view surrounding document and view single document. It will pop up to another new page. Let me go back. Okay, so that's pretty much the overall introduction of this Discover 2.0. So let's just try to see how it display in the dashboard. Oh, by the way, the embeddable is not implemented for 2.10. It will be out for 2.11, which is about 1 month after the 2.10 release. So this is just using a current PR. We are trying to merging, but just show you guys the idea that what you see when you navigate to dashboard, and then, for example, add a safe search. So you can just add it. Then you can just also just make it small. Yeah. Oh. Let me just refresh it. Okay. Yeah, so basically you can just see different safe search. And then you can also just remove the columns, move left, right, and then you can also do the same, view surrounding documents, view single document. So all of these like sort or any state changes will not affect the actual safe search. So when, for example, so if say you just added the search, it will go back and it will have the original county we just deleted, because the dashboards is like a embeddable container. It has its own state management, so it's not the same as what you see. So this is completely the same as the legacy experience. We just put everything into React. Yeah, I think that's pretty much all.
Yeah.
Want to present.
Did you want to show, I don't know if you have it here, but there's also so for 210 there's a toggle button to go back and forth for the
Yeah.
for the old experience, right?
Oh.
So
yeah, because I'm using the latest developed thing. So we actually removed the legacy discovery in 2010. So you won't see any legacy stuff in 2011 at all. So sorry, I mean 2011. So we removed the legacy discovery in 2011 and also add embeddable. So I just want to show you guys that for embeddable perspective, that it is same as the legacy and the new discover. But with the legacy discover, you cannot see embeddable because it's the duplicate embeddable of the legacy and then the new discover. So yeah, as Josh mentioned, when we released 2010, you will see a toggle button probably at this top area. So when you toggle it, you can go back to the legacy discover. For example, if you don't like our new discover, you can provide us some feedback and then you can toggle back. Yeah, we are still trying to collect some feedbacks for customers of using this new discover.
Yeah, and I just wanted to also I want to, as someone who didn't work on this project, I wanted to kind of like say that sometimes I think what's most impressive about this is like what seems like no changes, or when you say it's like, oh, it's like exactly the same, because this was a real kind of fundamental rewrite from an Angular-based app to using all React components, really leveraging our UI library a lot more. And so the first step was kind of making sure that we got all the functionality, and that's also why we left that toggle in for one release, in case there was some edge case that we overlooked, or something that wasn't working for folks, where we didn't want to make sure that there was a smooth transition. But I think that the thing that's so exciting about this is the way that it opens the door to like much more tightly integrated experiences. So yeah, you mentioned in the future this data explorer, the transition from exploring data in Discover to visualizing it in a visualization tool like BizBuilder will tighten that loop even more, bringing similar data exploration tasks in an observability context into the same application. These are going to be, I would say, even like kind of more impressive steps forward that will build on this foundation of really modernizing this application code base and getting it ready for like further development and innovation. So yeah, awesome job on this. And I do also want to say, like, I think you undersold a little bit some of the, even being able to have a really rich experience of the embeddable and dashboards. The old saved search embeddable was pretty limited, so I don't think it even had some of those cool column rearrangement tricks.
Yeah. Yeah, I just want to add up. So we're trying our best to de-angularize completely for our customers. So we understand we have a major security concerns. We have the high severity and critical severity from Angular, but we have a huge database, code base. And then Discover is the I think it's the major blocker for us to completely dump Angular, because over 70% of Discover is still Angular. So we are thinking about a efficient way for providing customer a better Explorer experience and also solving the security problem. So that is why we have bring up the Data Explorer. We did a lot of designing work, and then we do a lot of the de-angularized work. Yeah, so just want to add up that.
Yeah, and Roman asks if existing saved searches will benefit from this, and the answer is yes. So yeah, this is I would say it's not just a UI change, but it doesn't require any user migration effort. So if you have a bunch of saved searches from Legacy Discover, you'll get to benefit from the new embeddable layouts that Anand just demoed. I think, and the new embeddables will actually be in 2.11, so not quite yet. But certainly you can start using those saved searches that you have in 2.10 in the new UI. And so again, this is like the look and feel stuff. We also really want feedback because we're iterating quickly on this stuff. So the more people who play with new Discover in 2.10 can make sure that if there are any last very small details we overlooked, that we can make sure we get those fixed as soon as possible. So yeah, thanks, Anna. I think this will be really exciting because you know we know, as you mentioned, this is one of the oldest applications, so it hasn't really seen a lot of like updates and innovation, and now this is the first step to like really provide a better data exploration experience.
Yeah, so the embeddable iDisplay is actually saved using the Legacy Discover, so which means that customer will have no worries about, like, for example, if they saved their Discover using the Legacy Discover, whether they can still use that and embeddable it in dashboards using the new Discover. So our major purpose is actually concerning for the customer to provide customer the most smooth transfer experience and also solving their security concerns.
Yeah, and it did also occur to me while we're here talking about de-angularization, just to kind of go back to the security aspect of it. Our goal from a security side is to remove Angular from as a dependency of core OpenSearch dashboards. For anyone who's watching this who has OpenSearch dashboard plugins that are similarly old, like Discover and built on legacy versions of Angular, obviously we can't control that. If you're interested in kind of tips of how the team handled some of the Angular to React rewrite, we're definitely here to help. But if you have an old Angular plugin and you still want it to work, the only major change you need to make sure you do is that you are in your plugin directly are declaring a dependency. And hopefully, maybe if you're still using Angular, it's an updated version of Angular that can get security fixes and is in support. So yeah, just in case anyone is a plugin developer who's watching this later on YouTube and they still have an Angular plugin, the only major difference is that Angular will not be kind of an out-of-the-box dependency in the core. You would have to bring that dependency as part of your plugin. Cool. Any other questions on those demos? Okay, Andre, you mentioned you had at least one question. I don't know if we'll be able to answer it, but did you want to kind of bring up a topic? And if you have like an issue or a PR we can look at, I'll pull it up. But
no, I don't have PR so far. I just have a question about the minor version check in the dashboard. Can I remove it or not?
That's important. That sounds like a question for Mickey.
Yeah, because it is our problem that our customers really angry about that we can't. I made a small because to remove it is really, I don't know, 5 lines of code for both versions, first and second. The key question here: will I break something in this case, or we can use it as for minor version only, not for the major one?
So we hate it too. We are all angry about it too.
Yeah.
We have all actively worked to get rid of it. Now, right now, for OpenSearch dashboards to get rid of it, while there is really no problem in doing that because we haven't tested it, we cannot put our name on it. That's the main reason why this hasn't happened so far. It's just because we are actively building a testing infrastructure that will test against everything that we want to make sure it work. Even in patch versions, even in minor versions, the entire testing infrastructure is being built. And as soon as that is run, if everything shows check marks, trust me, the very next minute, OpenSearch dashboard is going to drop that. But then until we have that trust, we can't do it. If you have your own fork, you can definitely get rid of it. I mean, I have it removed in my personal deployments because I don't want to deal with the annoyance. In fact, I'm running my own OpenSearch dashboards to 9 or something against all kinds of other versions. So it works. In my use cases, it works.
Yes, I checked in our case, it works as well. That's why I decided to double check. Will it be definitely we could break really huge things or not? Because in my case, yes, we have via DNS loop around all nodes, and it's only, I don't know, losing connection in this case when we replace nodes, which is okay, absolutely.
So honestly, I haven't seen anything break, but me not seeing anything break is not a good enough reason
I agree.
to say nothing will break.
Yeah.
That comprehensive testing will be really the definitive answer for this.
Yeah, we don't use any extra plugins, nothing more, only core plugins which dashboard provides. We don't have our own plugins. It's just only because our customers really mad about that. And in our particular case as well, because we have a huge cluster with logs, it's really huge. And so when we don't have, during migration of minor version, we were blind because we can't investigate. I mean, we can buy special tools, of course, but people prefer to use, of course, Discovery or something like that.
The good news is that this specific testing environment, the validation environment, is actively being worked on. And it's not something that we plan for later. It is happening right now. When it ends is hopefully soon.
Mickey, do you know, do we have an issue talking about this that that Andre could comment on? Because I also always think it's useful when
I saw an issue about removing this. I don't remember the flag.
My RFC should have it.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, I would just say it's always helpful for us, Andre, to hear from other folks who are have the same frustrations or opinions, because Mickey wrote the RFC and then but if we don't hear back, then sometimes it's easy for people to say it's well, that's just something that that Mickey thinks we should do, or that and I think this is shared by it's a shared frustration across. And so the more we get feedback on these RFCs of saying yeah, this is something that really matters to my users, and here's why, that helps us also make sure that the way that we do it, we that it actually solves your use cases as well, right? So if Mickey, if you can find that RFC and post it in the chat, that would be really helpful as well, because I think I'm really glad that you brought up on the call. It's always it's very gratifying for us when someone brings to us something that we are actively prioritizing, because it's oh, we got that right, someone does care about this. So yeah, thanks for sharing that. And as I would just say, from a technical point, I think Mickey already mentioned it, but yeah, the check that exists right now is kind of just a dumb gate. You can tell it doesn't have a deep it's not deeply integrated in the code and doing a lot of intelligent things. It's really just a kind of a dumb version check. So if you
I know.
That's it.
I already prepared patches for us. It's not a fork. I'm not going to do fork in any case. And that's why I'm asking because yeah, I can open PR of course, but I'm not so good in dashboard. Yes, it's security plugin, yes, but dashboard no, and yeah, it's not my kind of
Cool.
main
Yeah,
responsibility in the company.
Yeah, so we'll try and make sure that we keep that RFC up to date. Also, if you're interested in checking in on progress or contributing to that work, like also we'll happy to keep you in the loop. Just drop it on the issue. And yeah, like I said, if you want to or if you want to pester us in Slack and say how's it coming, feel free to do that as well.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, I will check this. I will follow this RFC. Maybe I already read it, by the way. No, it was different one. It's about versions.
If you have any thoughts on the RFC, even if you agree, putting a note over there will give this RFC a little more power to drive change.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, thank you. I will follow this issue. That's really important.
And I would just say, like, from like within the organization right now, like one of the huge problems, right, is like the reason the 210 isn't released is that everything has to go out together, which includes all core OpenSearch, OpenSearch dashboards, all OpenSearch plugins, all OpenSearch dashboard plugins. So
yeah, I know.
Like we feel this pain every release. We feel it between releases as we're developing and backporting. So yeah, it's something that will be huge once we're able to get there. So we have about 10 minutes left. If there are any other questions, happy to answer them. Anything, topics that people want to talk about. Otherwise, we can call it a meeting. So are there anything from Nikki, Sean, and Roman or Andre, any other topics to discuss? All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining. Again, we do this every other week. If you want more time or more help with PRs, issues, feel free to sign up on the forum. I'll be actually, I think, posting the next sequence of forum posts and meetup links this week, because I think this was the last that is on the site now. So thank you everyone for joining, and we'll see you all next time, hopefully.